Yes, I'll be showing some of my life drawings while I'm talking. And the first couple are of my husband Stuart. This is a younger, naked Stuart. These were from when I was at art college. And he posed for me and my friend to give us some extra practice. And this caused a bit of a scandal in the group of girls who were on my textiles course. But I was so happy that he was so unself-conscious to pose for us both. So happy in his own skin. And so anyone who's ever done life drawing will know that the person drawing is far too busy getting all the proportions right and capturing the pose to actually think of anything sexual. But I chose to show these because it's an appreciation of the body, so I thought it fits. It fits. So my last talk was such an exciting and liberating experience for me. I love that this is for International Women's Day because I think it's a great way to celebrate it. I'm extremely sex positive, and why not talk about it? It shouldn't be taboo, and that's why this platform that Alison has created is so brilliant. I'm very much in my body and I work on instinct, and believe that's why I can tap into my capacity for super orgasms. For those of you who weren't here at my last talk, it's a bit like multiple orgasms, although they carry on until I decide to stop, which is fantastic. It's like a wave where I go in and out of intense peaks. And yeah, I didn't choose to do this talk to show off about my sex life though. I thought that it was important to talk about because if I did, I thought more people would realise that's a possibility. So I talk from my experience. I've been with my husband Stuart for 35 years, so yeah, I've had a lot of practice. Sex has always been good, although it took me quite a long time to discover I had this capacity because I was stopping after I'd had an orgasm. It felt too much, too intense to carry on. And I'm not sure how that changed, but I must have allowed myself to relax and to feel it and see where it will take me. And sex is always changing for us, even since the last talk, which I did a year ago. So I'm back to discuss the link between creativity and sex. I think we're all inherently creative, it's natural. We just need to give ourselves permission to explore. Creativity makes you feel alive in the same way that sex does. Just look at how someone lights up when they're talking about their creative ideas or projects. When I did my previous talk, I talked about how this linked with my creativity. And I started to think if I was just naturally in my body, or was there something that helped me learn to be this way? Because of my career choice as a freelance arts educator and artist, I haven't really had to fit into a box. I'm quite lucky in that I created my own niche and I take that to people to inspire them to be creative. I suppose I live quite an expressive life. And when I thought about it, I realised that when I was at art college studying textiles, the tutors stopped me from creating from my mind and planning in a literal way what I was going to make. And after learning all the basic techniques, they just asked me to play with the materials and test the process of discovering. Then working with what I'd found, it became about trusting my instincts. I was manipulating materials to create 3D examples, which I eventually made into creature puppets. It involved a lot of playing, and I was finding ways of creating movement, and I was standing in front of the mirror and trying to get the character. And so I was literally birthing my creations out of pieces of fabric, a line of wire or wool. So I suppose, like my textiles, there's a physical manipulation involved here in foreplay, using your fingers to bring life. And sexual energy is the most powerful form of creative energy there is, because it can lead to creating a new life. And how amazing is that? Even if you're not having sex to have children, you are still creating a beautiful experience with another person. So playing is the best way of learning and creating art for me. What will happen if I do this, if I work bigger, I use different material with the same technique, speed up or slow down, and I'm introducing different ideas along the way. I found I was manipulating materials to create an organic process, and they were my discoveries. Of course, my techniques had surely been done before, but through the process of play, I was discovering it new with a childlike curiosity. I work in schools teaching art regularly now, and I have to approach it as if I'm a child learning and exploring. I remember Laura's talk about the magical child archetype, and that's what I need to bring out. There's no room for perfectionism in creativity. It should be messy and it should be fun. There's no judgment in play, only discovery. There is a well-known connection between sexual energy and creativity. Studies have shown that people who are more creative tend to have more sexual energy. This is because creativity involves taking risks, which often requires pushing boundaries. Both myself and my partner studied art, so maybe it helped him too. I think sex is about play and responding to how you feel in the moment. It's about being able to do that together, being able to tap into a creative energy. Together brings a consciousness. Sex is messy and primal, and it allows for the organic desires of our bodies. I've been doing lots of figure drawing recently, which is what you can see up on the screen, in a group called Life Drawing Plus. Lots of them are in here tonight, which is lovely. I've been doing this more recently with Stuart, and Stuart's been coming with me, which has been so lovely. Being able to do this class together has been brilliant, as it's been great for him to have that peace you get from drawing. Like sex, being truly present and concentrating on what you see actually clears your head. It isn't a taught class, but it has real creativity in the themes and the poses. It has some amazing artists there, and it would be very easy to compare yourself to them. Although it's a self-discovery, that's a great thing. What excites me is the contrast of tone, the line and the shape of the body, the way the light falls to suggest the form, the shadows, the colour and the texture, trying to capture the pose quickly with an urgency. Playing with speed in sex is interesting too, following where the energy takes you. The urgency is important in drawing and sex. What fires you up? Fast sex, then pausing, leaving partner wanting more, being taken to or taking them to the edge, slowing things right down, being tender, kissing and holding. Visual observation, watching, noticing things that turn you and your partner on. I also teach drawing to adults, and I think the first thing I teach my own students is the importance of looking and noticing the detail, not thinking about how you think your drawing should look, just trusting what you see and trying to get that down on paper. Judgment and internal dialogue blocks creativity and sexuality. Overthinking kills the magic. You need to give yourself permission to make mistakes and learn from them. For both really vibrant creativity and sexuality, you need a playful mindset and be able to fully allow yourself to play. I've also done several collaboration projects with different artists. These only work well when you really trust the person that you're working with and you're both excited about what you're going to do. Like sex, you need to be open to the possibilities that another person brings and both be equal in the effort you put into the creation. It helps when you know the other person's going to bring it. Obviously, it helps when you really want and desire a sexual partner. I also do a dance practice called 5 Rhythms, which I recently returned to, which is similar in that it's not taught, but you are creatively prompted by the music to move in a way that's instinctual. You have to let go and concentrate on how you feel and respond to that. Claire, the instructor, used to say, switch off that chattering monkey brain, because sometimes your mind would wander and it would take you out of that presence, and you start thinking about how you compare, or if you were being accepted in the group. Inhibitions would creep in. I think this can happen for sex for people who don't fully switch off. Judgment of your body or your ability to perform or give pleasure can creep in both art and sex. You need to have a vulnerability to trust your instincts. I think dancing is a great way to get you back into your body if you're creatively stuck. It gets you back into the flow, using your body to express how you feel. I would recommend dance breaks if you're in a creative practice. When you're in a state of aliveness, creativity follows. Although I'm saying you need to switch off during sex, you do need to think about what's happening in the moment and concentrate on the senses. Use your imagination to pleasure seek. Playing with texture, feeling all the feels, concentrating on the feel of the smooth body, or maybe how the feel of wearing lace or stockings feel against the skin. The changes in the body, the hardness, the swell, the heat. Drawing on experience becomes second nature, to do what feels natural, trusting in your instincts, being creative, changing things up, not getting stuck in a safe technique is the thing I learned through art. In drawing, people get really good at using a pencil, so they think they should only use a pencil. Studying art breaks you out of that way of thinking. I think it's the same with sex. People get stuck using the same techniques in the same order for years. Being open to learn, to be curious, to try techniques you haven't tried, learn something new and use it, add it to your vocabulary, expand what you do and where you can go with it, and be spontaneous. I left art college in 1994, so a long time ago. My art practice should be continuous though, it should be changing, and I should be learning throughout. I sometimes get stuck and need something new to liven it up. That could be some new art material, or training. I could be inspired by seeing an exhibition or going to the theatre. It should be the same with sex in a long-term relationship, changing and learning through play, finding new things that get you both excited. It could be dressing up or role play, experimenting with different techniques, maybe through coming to these lectures and having open conversations with people, or just finding the love of something creative that you can do together, like dancing or drawing. Having great sex makes you feel great about your sexuality. It allows you to be free, feel great about yourself, makes you more creative, more productive, more happy, more everything. Through the breath, sound and movement of our intimate activities, the body becomes truly alive. By staying present and embodied, we feel and give energy. It's a life force flowing through us as we surrender to the body's vibrations in orgasm. I think letting go and being in the moment is the biggest thing that I've learned in my art, being able to act on impulse and opportunities, getting in a flow so that one thing is leading to another, being flexible, not afraid to experiment, being open-minded is the key to both good art and sex, taking risks, being open enough to go on a journey to see where it could take you, and maybe you will create something beautiful.